Hi, this is Allison Charbonneau, and I am discussing the MAP and IEP process of Jacob Walters. Starting out with the pre-meetings, the special ed teacher was the one who really got the ball rolling and everything organized to get at least part of the team together um, prior to the meeting so that they could kind of talk about what they see in school and where they would like to go for the next year. And then the next pre-meeting, they involved the family, which even included the grandpa and the cousin, which I think was great because it just kind of showed how much support there was there for Jacob and how much he's really cared about. Those meetings were really important. They gave him a chance to kind of come together and talk and collaborate, have a better understanding, identify some strengths and needs, and then allow the team to go on to develop the IEP. The map process was really interesting to me. Um, there was so much information flying around. It was really like a brainstorming session. And I love the fact that it was a little more structured and she had drawn it out and then Jacob was able to take it home at the end. That was awesome. Um, the importance of the dreams, I think that's everything. That's really the essence of why we do what we do because everybody has dreams for themselves, and when you become a parent you have dreams for your kids, and those are the dreams that you can't write IEP goals for: happiness and love, success, all of that. But really it's what's really important in life, and um, it kind of drives the IEP. The most essential part of the map process to me was that it was student-centered. Jacob had the most influential voice in the room. When he talked, everybody stopped and listened and wanted to hear what he had to say. Um, and I think it was great to give him a little ownership of his own education, his own behaviors. Yeah, I have a problem with interrupting, or yeah, sometimes I really just prefer to play by myself on the playground. Gave him some ownership of that too. The map really impacts the IEP in a lot of ways, but the biggest way that I could see was time. It took a lot of time, um, first of all, for that teacher to come up with a time for the professionals and the family to come together before the IEP meeting. That can be a logistical nightmare. Um, but what it did was it allowed for some just non-pressure, relaxed time. Let's come together. Tell me that cute thing that he did on the playground the other day. That was really awesome. And that's really what Jacob's all about. And that's what we really need to remember. Everybody has those stories. And when you get into an IEP meeting and you have usually, in my school, you have like a time limit. You have to kind of, it feels like you are not honoring parents when you're not listening to their stories, but really you need to get on to the focus of the IEP. So it really helps. The MAP process really showed the bigger picture of who Jacob is as a person as well as a student. The process that developed the IEP was a little different than mine, but I think it was just fine. Um, Always start with introductions and the purpose of the meetings, and then go into strengths and make that really big, and focus on the strengths, what he's doing functionally, academically. The school psychologist talked about his intelligence scores, which showed that he was actually very, very intelligent. And then you can move into some challenges, social challenges, academic challenges. But all through this, there were frequent check-ins to Jacob and to the parent for input. And then they go on to discuss goals, and then importantly supports and the accommodations and what do you need to be able to get to those goals. And then at the end they kind of talked about other input, and this is where the principal came in and said, hey, I love Jacob, have him come into my office, we'll play a game, we'll have a lunch bunch, whatever. And the para was able to kind of say, well, this is what I see and this is what I think would be best, and this would work for Jacob, let's try this. And I thought that was a really great way to have everybody work together for the student. And then at the end was the paperwork, but I like how she kind of kept that off to the end so that it wasn't so overwhelming, because that can be pretty overwhelming part of the meeting. So that was it. Thank you very much.